I think a lot about documentary photography is about discovery. It's an act of faith, and it's an act of curiosity. Whether it's the daily life of someone in Kurdistan or somebody on my street in Prince Street, or it's the women who do striptease in the carnivals. I mean, I'm interested in their working lives, the opportunities they do or don't have, and trying to render those or represent as best I can the reality of those lives. I think photography all my life has been about getting to know people. I've often said it's an excuse to be where you don't belong, and I think I still feel that way. It's almost impossible to imagine 50 years ago that I was in this boarding house making these photographs. That's what led me to photography. I didn't know I was going to be a photographer. I made a series of portraits of each person in the boarding house. In this case, they all basically told me where they wanted to be in the frame. I let them direct me rather than directing them. And then I asked them what they thought about themselves imaged in this way. That kind of equalized, in a way, the power that photography can often have upon people, and led me to want to build relationships with people.
From the beginning of her career, Susan has been interested in asking questions about the role of photography. She's someone who's really interested in the relationships she builds with the people she photographs and what those power structures are.
It's always starting a conversation, always starting what you call a collaboration.
She's always had very strong strain of collaboration in her work, and also nurturing and supporting younger photographers.
The photographs of Prince Street girls are taken within a block of my home on Mott Street. The relationship grew over the years, but it was never organized. These are just moments in their lives. For the most part, they weren't paying much attention to me, and I was just curious to watch them as they grew. They're getting to know me. They're performing to some degree for themselves and for me. The photograph isn't the purpose in a way. It's just the excuse. So in the same way with A Room of Their Own, I wanted to have their voices frame our perceptions. It's very intuitive. It's not planned. I didn't have an assignment. I just wanted to respond, trying to see if I could portray the complexity of their lives.
When Susan was a young woman and starting this work, there were even more barriers than there are now for people like Susan to decide, I'm going to be one of the people that goes out into the world and finds out what's going on and tries to show it to other people.
What is really striking in the work of Susan, it's her endurance following up her subjects. Whenever she has photographed someone or a particular situation, she will never give up.
It isn't even just the places that she's gone to. It's the will to go and the challenge to others to look and see.
The harmony of a photograph is important to me, but somehow I really hope for more, a connection that's beyond that. To think about the lives of the people that might be in that photograph. You don't know what photographs are going to mean in time. You make them in time, they're a moment of time, and then they become timeless.
It's that consistent drive of hers to share with the world those things that she sees. Those images have become part of the photographic documentary vocabulary that we all look to.
When I do the work, it's coming from a place of almost a sense of necessity. Somebody has to be there. Very often, I think that's what leads me to where I don't belong. I'm making work in relation to the people I'm making work with, and in some ways for. It's the essence of what makes being a photographer so special.
She's an incredibly deserving recipient of an award that's not just about innovation in photography, but also generosity to the field at large.
Those decades of work are decades of commitment, and that deserves all the honors that it can get.
She becomes almost emblematic of what social documentary really is.
She has built these relationships, she has built this community, and she has done the work under the most difficult conditions. What Susan has done with her life is an inspiration to the community of photography.